What's up and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. I'm your host, Max at WeVideo, and as always, we've got another great episode lined up for you guys today. Before we get started, quick shout out to everyone who's watching us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Twitter's a recent broadcasting adjustment, so welcome viewers. Before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as well as hit the bell in the top right corner so you get a notification every time we come out with a new video, which in this case for Tuesday Tips is every week. You can also check out our Tuesday Tips and Tricks landing page on WeVideo's website. There you can see every previous episode and jump through to find out quick tidbits and tips throughout these past 50 episodes. So we got a special one lined up today. If you watched last episodes, you may or may not have seen the special video, the featured video of the week, which was a music video by Meander Big Band. And we were lucky enough today, or yesterday actually, to get the creator of that video in for an interview. So we're going to show a quick excerpt of that previous video and then show our kind of recorded video with the creator after that. But before any of that, let me bring on my co-host, Tyler Wall.
Hey there, Max. Happy Tuesday once again. How's it going, viewers? Glad to be with you guys.
So as always, guys, if you have any questions, please let us know in the chat. We'll get to them throughout the video if it's relevant to the topic we're covering. If not, we'll get to them at the end for sure. In addition to that, let us know where you guys are watching from. We've got probably a bunch of international viewers today, given that the music video that we'll be going over is in both Dutch and Spanish. So I'm going to share my screen and show last week's featured video of the week, the music video. I'm going to play probably about the first 45 seconds and then skip towards the middle so you can get an idea of kind of the different cinematic features that Albert Dam, the creator, used throughout. And then we will play our pre-recorded interview with Albert after that.
Great. Sounds good.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
In de zon op mijn balkon, gevangen maar te vrij. We zijn nu niet meer alleen, de zomer is erbij. De kranten leg ik op de grond, de schermen zet ik uit. Want in mijn quarantaineflat ga ik erop uit. Samen reizen we mañana, rápido a España. Wel op anderhalve meter via social media. En dan zijn naar een salsa, en we nemen alle tijd. Alegría, como la cara. Ole, hola, bendito Lola. Vivir sin problemas en la sola calma. Las cenas de verano, los brazos de amor. Disfrutemos la vida y alegre música. Corazón de leñador y mostrar tu sonrisa. Alegría, como la cabra. Ole, hola, bendito Lola. Vivir sin problemas en la sola calma. Las cenas de verano.
So that's kind of the first beginning portion. I'm going to fast forward here towards the end.
Yeah, so if you guys tuned in last week, we went over a lot of these different features and effects that are being used. And like Max said, we interviewed Albert yesterday, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the ways he actually did this and then take some questions from you. We'll even demo a bit of audio syncing later on as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff there. We had the cell phones flying in, a lot of picture-in-picture with tons of different students on screen at the same time, and even some green screen in there as well. So tons of layers, as you'll see in Albert's project, to make a lot of that stuff work.
Yeah, so apologies for not playing the whole video because we do have a lot to get through. We will paste the link to the video in the chat right now. Seeing, yeah, I did skip one of the best parts. Apologies. Again, this was the featured video of last week where we played the whole thing. The link will be in here shortly. Now we're going to kind of skip over to our recorded video that we did with Albert yesterday. Albert Dam is the musical teacher, high school music instructor, leader of kind of Meander Big Band. And yeah, let's see if we can get that popped up here. For our viewers just joining us, this is kind of a behind the scenes look of what it looks like in the timeline for the music video that we shared last week, Vivir Sin Problemas. And this is how it looks in WeVideo. And we're here with Albert Dam, the creator of the video, to kind of show his process and how he created that, and a lot of behind the scenes footage here.
Okay.
I am first astonished at how many different tracks there are.
Yeah, quite a few.
It's not the first project were 75 tracks, so this is not so.
And Albert, you had mentioned, so you had maybe a little experience prior to using WeVideo.
I had no experience in WeVideo. This is my I think my third video I created.
That is wow.
I spent a lot of time.
Yeah, do you have an idea of how long this took to create? Just in terms of editing, not the
editing. The audio was my first project. I always create first the audio project, and I think it will be 40 hours to create the audio, and I think it will be 30-40 hours also to create the video. It's a lot of time, and nowadays I'm working faster, so that's a little difference. But when I saw the WeVideo backgrounds, that took a lot of time for me to look all those fantastic stock videos. So that was also a lot of time. But when you have an idea of what you want, you can work quite faster now. I think that's possible.
So yeah, when you created, you said you started creating this video back in March, right?
This video is from May.
Okay, so yeah, I see here on YouTube, it was posted on May 6th, and it's got 3,927 views. So just shy of 4,000. What was kind of the goal of the video going in? Did you expect to have that many views going into this, or
only? I think two goals. The first goal is to get the students play again. They're sitting at home and they're doing nothing. So I wanted to get the students active. That's the first goal. The second goal for myself, I wanted to create something, and I had a lot of ideas in my head, and I want to get rid of those ideas in the project. And normally I never have time to do these things. And it's a great opportunity with the possibilities nowadays with WeVideo and Logic to create such nice stuff. 10 years back in time, it wasn't possible to create this. So for me, it's a great opportunity the lockdown to create such things, because it's a lot of time to spend. You have a lot of time to spend when you want to create something like this. But when I'm busy with it, I got more and more ideas, and then you have to make the right decisions at the right time. And I have the right decisions in my head, but to transform that to WeVideo, that takes some time. the audio track, first always create a good sounding audio track, better in a special program like GarageBand or Logic. I have a large track, and when I see here the audio start, I set them in the biggest view here, the biggest view, so you can quite have a good view at the audio. When I see here the big wave, then I know this must be my music start point. Measure 1, bar 1, measure 1, beat 1. So then I go through all the audio track and set locators, markers everywhere, because when you do that after a while, when you're having videos in it, you can't get it's getting always a little bit of delay, and then your locator is not at a good moment. So I have all the points for switching at points, Allegria, the lyrics in the video. I have all those moments in my locators. That's the first thing to do. That's very important. Otherwise, you can't get it synchronized with so many videos at the same time. So that's I think maybe the best thing to say for your next experience. And then it's a question. It's a thing that you have to put the videos at the place where you want to. So you have to make a storyboard, or you have to make something you want to create. Where will I have which singer at what time? And when you have to sing some things at the same time, the lyrics here, you see the 4 vocalists in the corners, those are here. The moment where they start is very important again, to get it synced with the markers. Now is the question, I don't know what the vocal is singing, so I put it on here also back in a big sound, and then I can, when I zoom in again, I can see what my vocal is singing, because the lyrics and the sound of the music when I zoom in are exactly identical. And that's very important when you have a playback video. It's important that they have also the same audio in it, so you can compare the audio, and then you know, all right, here is my lyrics, Annelies singing Allegria. You can see it. I don't know why, but the audio and the locators are for me very important. And then I compare the audio visual, not by audio, by listening to it, because you never get it synced. And you have so many videos going together, and then it's impossible to sync it. So that's I think the one of the most important things. And then
So-
the creative, yes.
Do you mute the individual singer's
Yes,
track after?
question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And when
after you
look at
kind of
this- yeah. For experience, I have here my singer. When you look at this track, you see ordinary volume, but I don't use the volume, because when I double click, you can hear especially the audio, and I have it muted here.
Right.
So I always run through the tracks here to mute it, because when you use a fader, it's possible, you have them here, and then there's something in I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So that's with the bouncing process, always there is a video. That's not why is that sounding so loud? And then you have something not muted.
awesome. So we will be pasting a link to that full interview in the comments shortly. Quick shout out to everyone from Meander Big Band who is joining us today. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. But yeah, Albert was an absolute pleasure to have on the show. And as you can see, just kind of dove headfirst into WeVideo in terms of embracing all of its capabilities, with over 20 plus tracks, using kind of every feature at his disposal. So Tyler and I are going to kind of take a step back and go over the big picture of how to do something like that and the steps that he followed, so our viewers can do something similar.
Cool. Yeah, let's hop into WeVideo, and we will go over audio syncing a bit more and some examples of where that might take place or where you might need to do that. So yeah, shout out once again to Albert. Super inspiring. We love the final product, and I think your students clearly did too. Saw a lot of them commenting in the chat section there.
Yeah, and for everyone else at the end, I did ask, is there going to be another video? And Albert couldn't give any details, but he is currently working on a second music video. So I'm sure whenever that's released, you can expect to see it here.
All right, cool. So we've got a couple different clips here. One of them you can see is an audio clip, and the other was shot on my phone of me playing guitar. I'm not as talented musically as you guys in the big band there, but for our demo today, I did do some major chords here. All right. So a lot of times when we're creating videos, we want to use a external audio device like a Zoom recorder or some sort of other microphone that's better than the one on an internal phone. So you can see here I did that, and now we need to sync that up with our video audio. So there's a couple ways to go about doing this. As Albert mentioned, one of the best ways is to utilize our waveform and the visual that it provides us. So if we look closely at these different waveforms, we can actually notice the pattern is similar when we kind of line this up. So a good tip is to hit this little down arrow, and we can adjust the size of our actual track. If we go on the largest size, that's going to give us the best visual. So you can see I already have selected those. All right, so I can go ahead and just start lining these up and use my playhead to kind of tell exactly where those points are. And you can see I've already kind of got this synced. Now, another great way to actually ensure that you're syncing everything is to use this slate method. So you know the clapper board that you see often on a movie set actually has a purpose, right? That clap that the director's I don't know what the correct term is. Little clappy thing does is serving a purpose to help sync that audio in the end. So for this clip, I actually clapped my hands, and you can see that waveform creates a great marker point. So we can, as Albert did, create a marker there. So if I hit M on my keyboard, it's going to create a marker point. I can actually double click this, single click it and title it. So let's go ahead and call that slate. And depending on what you're synchronizing, in Albert's case, he's got a multi-faceted. He's got tons of different students sending in their portion of the song, right? And what he did was create that in a DAW, a digital audio workspace, like Logic or Ableton. There's lots of different ways you can actually go about mixing and mastering a song. Yeah, if you need to do more professional audio work. So he's having to actually sync different clips to that master song. So that's a little bit more complicated. The slate might not work necessarily for that, but for simple 2-track scenarios like this, keep that in mind. Slating your clip is a great way to help sync this in the end.
Yeah, so kind of a key thing for anyone looking to make a music video is to focus on the audio first. That's what Albert did, and you can do it in WeVideo, or you can do it in a specialized kind of something specifically for audio, like Audacity or have you. And then when you're finished kind of mixing, making sure all the different key parts of the audio are mixed appropriately and balanced, export it as one MP3 and then import that into WeVideo. And that'll just make it much simpler. We only have one track to deal with. And then from that point on, you're just focusing on the visual portion.
Cool. All right. So like I said, we can now see that we're synced, and we have a couple different audio options. We can go ahead and mute this top track. there's the slider here that will create the mute. You can mute within here, which is, I believe, what Albert did. That's a little bit easier. Just make sure that you have that checked. Save those changes. And now our external audio, which I recorded with this guy, which is going to sound a lot better for our purposes, is the one that we'll be playing with our video in sync. There you go. Very serious face when playing the guitar there, apparently. All right. A couple different audio things we can do just quickly to go over. You can create keyframes and do simple adjustments with your volume. So that's a great option. We don't have like EQing or mixing and mastering. So again, if you want to do something more in depth, obviously like Albert did, you're going to need a program specifically designed for that audio purpose. What else did we want to go over here, Max?
I think we've covered our bases.
Cool.
Yeah, key thing is obviously focus on the audio first. Once you have that, import it into WeVideo. Next step, at least in Albert's case, was to map out the key points where he needed to add video using markers. We showed that, which was the letter M hotkey, or you can right-click. Sorry, not right-click. Hit that. Maybe you could show that again, Tyler, that little plus icon on your screen where you add a marker.
Oh, yeah. To add a marker, you can either use the playhead here. So click that, and that will bring up the marker title. Or the quick way to do it, the shortcut, is just to hit M on your keyboard, and that will just drop one down. So yeah, when you have something that's getting very complicated, those markers are going to be very, very important for you, just to keep track of where everything's happening, where the changes in the song are happening, different different beats. So as you could see in Albert's project, he had, I don't even know, 50 or so markers.
Yeah, so many markers, so many tracks. And then kind of the last big thing was after he was importing all the different videos, he was then muting the tracks so that all you heard was the one master audio track. So Tyler, why don't you show real quick how to mute an individual clip's audio?
Yeah, we quickly showed that for this one.
Okay.
So
yeah.
If you double click into your clip, that's where you're going to find your clip editor. And the third tab from the left is your audio tab. You can hit that mute button. You could even just drag this slider all the way down. That will do the same thing. But the little mute check is probably the easiest way just to ensure that you're muting that completely. So save those changes, and then you will not have audio on this track.
Awesome. Well, sweet. As we're wrapping up kind of towards the tail end of the show, if you have any questions, let us know in the chat. We are now going to show our next featured video of the week. Share my screen here. Good to use some motion titles there.
Yep. Nice dip to black. Some really beautiful footage too. I'm not sure if they found this via our stock library or shot this themselves. Some good slow-mo.
Yeah, they did a very good job of kind of mixing in transitions, but not going overboard.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Get that music going. Cutting on the beat, which is nice.
And then the logo's at the end.
Very good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a simple video, but I think it served its purpose. It got the message it wanted across, and I'm ready to go visit.
Yeah. Kind of keeping an international theme here with the past few
Yeah, that's true.
week. So awesome. Let me do a quick kind of scan here through the comments. Wow, very, very active chat today. Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, so if you guys do have questions regarding WeVideo, if you're new to the editor and want to learn some tips, now's the time to shoot those off and we can quickly go over them. We have a little bit more time at the end of our show. We like to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got quite a few people in the chat here, so we'll try and skim through and see if there's any questions real quick.
Awesome. All right. Can you review the video of Macho Mikey? I guess there's some YouTubers we got to check out, Tyler. Maybe bring some other people onto the show.
All right.
So we'll go through this chat and yeah, maybe reach out. We'll see. I think that's it for this week.
Cool.
If there's anything we missed, we will be able to address it in next week's show. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining. We rely on kind of viewers every week to provide inspiration for content to share and stuff to go over. So thank you so much. And with that, that's a wrap. We'll see you all next week. Happy creating.
See you guys.